SPL. It's me, Valdez, with Wolf today. And we've already had one upset in the day we thought was going to be very one-sided. MyuNg did take out Sue in game number 1, but Innovation did take out Departure in game number 2, at least.
So this puts us at a 1-1 score, and the third matchup, this is like ideal for MVP, I feel. If they had beaten Innovation, that would be awesome, but when you look at MyuNgSiK versus GuMiho in the third match, this is the matchup I looked at. I didn't vote for GuMiho, but I said, I think this is the most reasonable MVP could ask for.
Yeah.
If they win, there's no way forward to beat Stark, right? But we go to an ace match. So if GuMiho can actually, if you can actually do this, then this matchup becomes way more exciting, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And it is on Orbital Shipyard, a map that I always say is like pretty good for the Protoss, but the map stats at GSL have Protoss at 2-9 against Terrans. So it seems like Terrans actually do better on this map in Korea. So GuMiho definitely is coming into this one. He's got to feel good about the map at least.
Now, these graphs just crack me up. Trust is the most important thing for these two players. I'm like, I don't know, MyuNgSiK's been on like 5 different teams the last 2 years.
Wow.
All right, Kanata voted for GuMiho. When I saw that in our predictions chat, I thought, you know what? That was someone I was looking at. I'm not voting for him, but this is the one they could do it with. This could force the ace match.
I agree. For this matchup, for sure, this is the one where I'm like, oh, you know, it is possible that, in fact, GuMiho plays the game of his life, and you know maybe MyuNgSiK fails here in this game. But we saw also that MyuNgSiK has only played 1 game so far and lost. So we'll see what he can do here in game number 3 up against GuMiho on Orbital Shipyard. Up here in the top right of Orbital Shipyard in the orange, it is MyuNgSiK.
And down here in teal for MVP is GuMiho. GuMiho being one of those players who has also seen his fair amount of teams over a longer period of time. If I'm not mistaken, being on Dead Pixels briefly. Initially on FX Open, he was the only player in a Korean team league ever in Starcraft 2 to play random. He's the only one.
Wow.
TLO played in GSTL, but was actually race selecting at the time Zerg. And then he actually played Zerg for a long time in the off-season, decided to switch to Terran. But GuMiho has so much experience. I think he's probably most famous to newer Starcraft fans as the guy who had the booth collapse on him and still beat Zest.
Yeah, got bonked on the head and bonked Zest afterwards on that crazy map we used to have, Habitation Station. Go ahead and look that one up if you're not familiar with that.
Yeah, there's a GIF out there. It's like GuMiho got bonked or something like that. You'll find it. But GuMiho has been getting bonked a lot, though, recently in his StarCraft matches. Not as dominant as he once was. He's one of the carry players in the all-kill format of the GSTL. Oh.
Oh. Oh. That's a pylon. Oh. Oh.
I don't know about that location, MyuNgSiK, but
he actually doesn't go for it.
I think he's going to, but he doesn't want to do it yet. He's definitely going to do it somewhere else, right? You don't just send a probe out like this and change your mind, usually.
The pylon would have been slightly earlier, and he made the pylon back at home instead.
Yeah, so I guess he's just simply not going to do it.
He saw the build, and he's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to make it in my main.
Yeah, with a factory, if you proxy a Stargate, sometimes the Widow Mine that's behind the satellite dish just shuts down your Oracle, and then he counter drops you, and you don't have detection because you went for a proxy Stargate. You can see the weakness here of the build if you wanted to commit to proxying it. So that scout actually pays off in dividends here from MyuNgSiK.
Yeah, kind of an awkward spot though. You know, you send out another one of your very special probes that you need to be mining in your main out all the way across the map, and then you send it all the way back, and you're missing out on a lot of mining time by doing so. But either way, I mean, It's smart. He's still going to go for the Oracle, so he just wanted it to be a bit more safe in the main, I suppose.
We're going to see Banshees out of GuMiho. I'm looking at that tech lab pretty closely here.
Oh.
It's like it. This is getting more popular, but still very uncommon. He's going to even commit to Cloak. MyuNgSiK, a player who's known to proxy, known to be aggressive and skip Robotech. Like, he's the guy who would go no Robo, Adept attack speed, and like just attack the front. He's done stuff like that in the past, so maybe he's hoping that will work out for him, or maybe he'll go one Observer into Warp Prism and won't have any detection at home. This Phoenix, though, is really going to put a damper on the strat, I have to say. Did he cancel the Oracle as well?
No, he's got that out there.
Okay.
It is just sitting in his main. It's just like a safe Stargate build for now. He's just trying to scout with the Mothership Core, and he's sending the rest back. He's going to get a massive scout with that Mothership Core. He's going to see the Cloak. Oh, man, he keeps it alive, too.
One shot away from death. GuMiho's got to be really pissed about this one.
Immediately, a Robo goes down. I mean, that was the best scout he could have hoped for. He sees exactly what's coming across the map, and he already has a Phoenix.
GuMiho even trying to intercept that and failing. This Banshee will do, like, no damage. If he tags it correctly and just right-clicks on it with Phoenixes, it's not even going to be able to escape.
No.
He's still going to commit to the second Banshee and Cloak, and he's going to have to somehow miraculously make that work. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I don't have high hopes for this build so far. He's transitioning. Let's see how many probes he gets. If he just right-clicks him, he's still going to get some probes.
Well, he does get one. Trying to come in here and get another one is
okay,
not
just
going
one.
to.
I was wrong even. Some probes is not even enough.
Some probe. That guy named David in the mineral line, he got him.
Poor probe.
Yeah. So third base coming up here. He's totally shut down the aggression from GuMiho, and this is looking very much in favor of MyuNgSiK. He's getting up at third base really, really fast. He's going to be safe for quite a while here. We do have a follow-up build of a drop, and in fact, double upgrade here for his infantry, the stim and the combat shield. So he may want to try to follow up here before MyuNgSiK gets too many units out. With just a nice barracks timing with a bunch of medevacs as well.
2 probes this time. Like, this is the moment where MyuNgSiK's like, I can't believe you even made a second Banshee.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was expecting that, but
still,
he was ready still.
That's the thing about when you have a detection out versus Cloak Banshees, it's like, okay, well, Banshee's probably not going to do any damage, but at least the Stalkers can't kill it. It like runs away. It comes back in later when you don't expect it. If there's a Phoenix out, even one, it's never getting away. You're never going to worry about it later, and you can kill it every time. So here comes a little bit of aggression. Stim just finished. There's not a ton of units, as you mentioned, on the ground here from MyuNgSiK, so this could still very well find a lot of damage. Phoenixes are not going to be the best versus this.
He needs to rely on his overcharge right now. He's got 4 Adepts, 1 Oracle, 3 Phoenixes, and the Mothership Core. So we need to see some great overcharges. Look at this, stimming in, trying to go for those Adepts, but oh man, nice lifts coming in here, and the Adepts are going to be enough, killing his own probe.
Yeah, but coming over here now, we'll stop mining at the third base at least. Can actually target down some of these warping and Adepts as well. He's trying to find any damage he can. The Phoenix is going to make the retreat a little bit tougher, though.
Yeah, this is the awkward spot where you try to fly it away with the medevacs, and you even can't against 2 Phoenixes, especially because the Adepts are on the ground, and if he tries to drop, he's just going to die anyway.
Yeah, talking about workers after this harass, 54 to 41, as MyuNgSiK has been able to dictate his Chrono Boost to all the next site on total pro production right now. All right, here comes the Oracle. May actually be able to secure the last of these kills. Ooh, a bit too early on the Phoenixes, but still going to pick off that medevac. GuMiho going for a second drop now. Risky business with all these Phoenixes on the map.
Yeah, and a lot of gateways have been powered up. There's 11 Adepts now, so it's like, I mean, he can shade back there. He's not going to be in perfect position to stop this one, but he will be able to come back in time and deny a bunch of damage from coming down here, I do believe. GuMiho, though, is going to stim in, try to snipe a pylon at least.
Yeah, he killed a gateway, too, but the problem is there's no escape with Phoenixes here. Good targeting on the Phoenixes, but he's still not getting out. There's no way. Adept's not in the best position here, and a misclick on the probes as well. This is a bit of a scrappy, sloppy game here, but going into now the third base with a few more Marines, maybe he could find some probe damage here. He needs to get a lot more.
Even just 4 Marines, and that's enough to do a bunch of damage and stop so much mining time here.
I think that's the key. I'm glad you mentioned that because the lost mining time between all 3 of these bases has been pretty immense. And GuMiho has, shut down some mining. He's killed a few more workers. He's only 10 harvesters behind now. His third base is finally finished. He's not mining from it yet. But I mean, he's trying to do anything he can to pull himself back in this game.
GuMiho pretty famous for having some really nice multitasking, especially in this matchup. Just loves to drop over and over against the Protoss, and that's exactly what we're seeing here, even against Phoenixes and all these adepts on the ground. So you can see the skills of GuMiho are still there, even though it's not his best game we've ever seen. He's still trying to do what he knows how to do to get back in this one.
And this is kind of been the story of some of these games from MVP, like the previous game where Departure lost, a huge early, or basically he got behind early because he went for a Nidus all-in that was totally shut down. And make no mistake, guys, no matter what build the Protoss does, if you go Cloak Banshee, you make 3 of them and you get 2 probe kills, you will be behind no matter what, if it's that much of a commitment to Banshees. GuMiho has caught up in workers here, and he does have a large bioforce coming across the map, but there are almost more adepts than there are Marines at this point in time, with attack speed as well, mind you.
Let me check that for you. It's 28 Marines to 25 adepts, so you were pretty close. He needs to get the massive Widowmine hits, but this just may implode onto his army. He's going to pick up, and a nice Widowmine hit there. He's going to drop into the third base, and the army of the Protoss is totally out of position.
That was sexy. That was really well done with those Widowmines, just forcing that adept, or rather forcing the shots onto the adepts. Now this third base isn't mining. He's going to target down the Nexus. He can't stay here, though. He needs to leave. This time, only 2 Phoenixes. Not going to be enough to shut down the follow-up attack, or rather to shut down the retreat. Warp Prism, though, going in here to the main base. And GuMiho has nothing to defend, even warping in now 3 additional adepts.
Coming in here, off screen is the army of GuMiho. He's going to try to shade a bunch of his adepts into the back, and it looks like not going to be successful. Just going to have to pick up and get out of there.
This has definitely been a pretty wonky game, to say the least. Phoenix is coming over here, 2 of them.
Just checking out what's going on. The manager Phoenix is making sure the SCVs are mining.
Continual tags here as well on this Terran force, who knows where it's coming in. Shading into the main, but that's not where the army is, so it gets to the simulator. And GuMiho continuing to find some damage, actually, with this harass.
GuMiho has now successfully gotten ahead of the Protoss MyuNgSiK in supply. Somehow, some way. He was down about 15 when MyuNgSiK was only at like 80 supply, but he's getting himself back into this game with these amazing drops.
No cancel on that kill simulator. And with this position, Adepts can't fight against this efficiently. They just can't. I mean, we're watching it. We're watching the proof. Like, if we want to have an experiment, can the Adepts trade there? No, they can't. We witnessed this. Ooh, 2 Widowmines here. I don't think he saw those earlier. We might end up losing these. Does actually circumvent them, though.
He's going to come in with his Phoenixes, too. Looks like he's going to try to drop in the back door. Maybe use the wall of GuMiho against him, but he'll just drop that depot, and not the most successful drop. It's going to be cleaned up really nicely here.
I don't understand what MyuNgSiK is doing with his build. Okay, he did finally get disruptors out. He had 2 robos for the longest time. He wasn't committing to.
Oh, no.
He's going to lose this ground army. He has no army to fight with.
Caught out in the middle of the map somehow, some way.
He has 1,400 minerals, but not enough tech to deal with bio. Like, just straight up. Phoenixes aren't going to fight this. He might actually lose this game before his disruptors are ready.
That was a really sick Stasis Ward. That's going to buy him so much time, but there's still so much left over here from the Terran. MyuNgSiK is going to try to fight some nice Widowmines, hit the entirety of his army, though.
These disruptor shots better be more than perfect here.
He could line it up with a Stasis Ward, perhaps.
I think that's what he's going to go for here. And well-timed.
Wow.
He does get that. Pretty sexy. But GuMiho's attack continues. Look at the minimap. He's got more and more units coming across. He needs the next 2 disruptors, but he doesn't have time. He doesn't have money. He has to warp in ground units instead.
Yeah, nice pickups from the Phoenix here, trying to get MyuNgSiK back on his feet. Look at this. The bio is pushing in. He needs those disruptors to come out again. GuMiho's got to focus one down.
One goes down. Here comes the next purification nova. Going to get a decent shot there, but now there's even Liberators in the mix, and they can siege up the ramp, which would basically spell disaster here for MyuNgSiK.
That's exactly what he's going to do. I think there's only like there's 2 Phoenixes left over, trying to snipe these Liberators in the sky.
MyuNgSiK has no gas. He's only mining from his gas with one worker, and the other gas was continually killed by those drops.
New disruptor shot coming in. A lot of this army is very, very weak, and the medevacs are so low too. He's going to snipe one of the Liberators. MyuNgSiK is holding on somehow.
Oh, this is looking like he may survive for now, but the trades are just getting better and better for GuMiho, who is taking that 4th base now towards the 9 o'clock position. He's just getting these trades over and over again. It may just become too much. He's going up the ramp. He's going to stim and kill that disruptor.
There's nothing here to support the disruptors. 2 stalkers at a time being warped in.
Going to kill the Widow Mines here. One small victory from MyuNgSiK, but the forces of GuMiho continue to come up. A lot of adepts just got warped in, but with this Liberator, he can't commit. He's going to type out. It looks like GG. And MVP, GuMiho does it. And now, best case scenario for SKT, they have an ace match.
Best case scenario, MVP versus SKT, the best team versus the worst team, and MVP is ahead. Unbelievable, man. This is not what I expected coming into today.
I don't understand what MyuNgSiK was trying to do in the mid game. It looks like he was really reliant on those Phoenixes and drops to find some damage to get ahead further there. But his disruptors were late. He was trying to go blink while he was trying to go disruptors while he had very few stalkers, like 4 or 5, I guess, maybe to clean up the last of the drops because his adepts weren't cutting the defense of that assimilator. Losing that assimilator, losing all that mining time meant he had basically no gas. We saw there at the end, all of his gas was going to disruptors, and he had like 1,500 minerals. They didn't have a warp prism to harass with. He barely could survive. He was trying to warp into depths and zealots at the end instead of disruptors because he knew GuMiho's pressure was becoming too much on such a huge map as well. GuMiho just walked across and ended him. And those 2 Widow Mine shots we saw on the adepts really, I think, turned the game around for GuMiho.
Yep, that was that moment where it all turned into his favor. On that map, you need to break down your rocks to the left of your 3rd base. You can't leave that up. So many great trades as well from GuMiho, just continuously trading with only adepts. MyuNgSiK just could not handle it. He couldn't get down to the low ground. The rocks weren't broken down. And he wasn't sending them around either. He just looked flustered a lot of the time in that game too. His multitasking was failing at certain times, going for drops, trying to defend at the same time. Just was not working out.
Now, can Forte end the series? So this could happen, okay? Well, Forte versus Dark. Dark's TVZ, or rather ZVT, best in the business right now.